Hi, folks. Time for another YouTube. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well and radiant. Um, it seems like warm and sunny weather has finally arrived here in Slovenia, which is lovely. Lovely to just go outside the first thing in the morning and feel this warm, sunny weather. So hopefully it stays and hopefully it's warm and sunny, nice weather wherever you are watching this as well. Okie dokie. Um, a few days ago, I began this series, this kind of letter to a friend series with a video of Adyashanti. And today I'm going to continue this series with a video clip of Taiwanese Zen or Chan master Sheng. And before watching Shengyen's video, I just want to say already that, I'm presenting what my commentary to Master Shengyen's presentation sincerely and in the spirit of friendly, constructive analysis. So, friendly, constructive analysis. Um, I have high regard for Chan Master Shengyen, but regarding this one point that he will tell you himself, there is room to improve. So let's take a look at his video. Here it is.
这个顿悟这个名词啊，是非常的这个吸引人，也非常的动人。我在美国啊，我遇到过好多次，美国人，他们希望我给他顿悟法门，他是一下子开悟了，多好！要打坐了，要做什么了？这个实在是啊，他没有这么多的时间呢，来这磨在打坐上面去，所以他希望我能够给他顿悟法门。他觉得这个顿悟法门的好像是这一下子给他以后，他马上开悟了。我跟他讲，我说很抱歉，如果有这样的法门呢，我先用了。所以到现在为止我还没发明。到现在为止呢，禅宗还是没给我看到什么人用了这个方法。好像是说，把这个顿悟这样东西做成一个药丸，然后呢，给你一吞下去，马上就开悟了。或者是呢，像打吗啡针一样的啊。所以你要开悟啊，没问题。我有个东西，这个给你一打针呢，你就开悟了。或者是呢，像针灸的那个针一样的啊。所以你哪一个穴道啊，一针呢，马上就开悟了。这个都是顿悟嘛。我说很可惜呢，到现在为止呢，还没有人发现呢。不过
Okay, so there it was. I've mentioned in a couple of my previous videos on this channel, on Baba's Secret channel, and this has also been spoken on a number of Lion Faced Guru podcast episodes. The understanding and the claim that there aren't techniques that directly generate awakening. And like I said in that Adyashanti video from a few days ago, he also said the same thing. And universally, this is not true. There are techniques, exact, understandable instructions, practices that indeed do generate awakening, the first awakening or consecutive awakenings through the whole process of insight realizations, emptiness realizations, wisdom realizations. There actually are these practices and there are methods that provide this. So, just a few words about Chan Master Sheng. So he was a Taiwanese Chan Buddhist monk and a teacher. He was born in 1931 and he passed away. I think he passed away in United States, but he passed away in 2009. So a contemporary teacher and very influential, like in the world of larger Zen Buddhism or Chan Buddhism, very influential and highly regarded master. I also have great respect to him, even though I never met him. But he was a Dharma heir in number of lineages, um, Chinese Linchi and Linchi is called Rinzai. I'm more familiar with the Japanese name Rinzai. So he was a Rinzai lineage heir, Soto lineage heir, and I think he also had other lineages that he was an authorized, acknowledged teacher. And a couple of years ago, I saw this documentary of him. I think it was entirely animated documentary of his life. You can find it online. It's a lovely life story of his really impressive figure who achieved so much. So highest respect for Chan Master Sheng Yen. Um, Having said that, like you heard in the video, um, there is a bit of false conclusion that he made. So he said on the video that the students hope I can give them a way to sudden enlightenment. It seems to them that given the way to sudden enlightenment, they would get enlightened immediately. I told them, I'm sorry, if there is such a way, I would have used it first. But up until now, I have not invented it. Up until now, no Chan Buddhism literature has shown who had used it. It's like making a pill from a thing called sudden enlightenment, and then once you swallow it, you'd be enlightened immediately. Or like getting a morphine injection. You want enlightenment? No problem. I have this thing that you inject and you become enlightened at once. Or how about something like an acupuncture needle? One needle at the acupuncture point and enlightenment at once. All these are sudden enlightenment, aren't they? I say, what a pity no one has yet made the discovery. Some attain enlightenment gradually, while others attain enlightenment at once. Some attain enlightenment gradually, while others attain enlightenment at once. Okay, with utmost respect, um, again, we can see in his statement that despite of his familiarity with, I've heard that he was a Dharma heir in 5 different lineages of Chinese Chan Buddhism. To my knowledge, and you can correct me if you know better, to my knowledge, he didn't do training in other forms of Buddhism than Chan Buddhism or Zen Buddhism. But Wikipedia said that he was a Dharma heir in 3 different lineages, and I've heard somewhere, I recall, that he was a Dharma heir in 5. But anyway, my understanding is that he only studied Chan Buddhism, Zen Buddhism. And here again, we can see that his understanding comes from his training. Like all our understanding comes and knowledge comes from the study and training that we have done. But it has to be said that his statement that there wouldn't be techniques that generate sudden enlightenment, sudden awakening, it is probably true. regarding Chan or Zen Buddhism, but it is not universal fact. It is not universally true. And it is because of this simple fact that I'm making these videos. Just like I explained in my Adyashanti video from a few days ago, that it is simply not universally true that such techniques wouldn't exist anywhere. Not true. So definitely, this exact view that Chan Master Sheng Yen is presenting, I had the exact view and belief, even you could say firm conviction, in this claim that these techniques didn't exist when I was a Zen Buddhist. I was told this many times, that there aren't practices that directly generate awakening or kensho. And then later on, I learned that this is false. That this is false. This is not actually true. So I really don't have much else to say about this, except again to remind my friends, you, that there are practices that indeed do produce and directly generate awakening, from the first awakening to consecutive awakenings through the whole process of insight, until the affliction of dualistic ignorance is entirely removed. There are methods and collections of practices that do indeed provide and accomplish this. And the reason why I can say that is that, well, firstly and mainly from my own experience as a Dharma teacher, as a teacher of Buddhist practices and Buddhist meditation. So I know that there are practices, and I've written 3 books about this. All of those you can acquire from Open Heart website. The method and the community that I have founded is called Open Heart. The website is openheartofallbeings.com. And I've written 3 books about this topic specifically, from the first awakening to consecutive awakenings and to perfecting the emptiness insight process. So perfecting wisdom practice. Excuse me. So you can look into those books if you are really interested about this. And for example, the so-called two-part formula, which is the technique for generating the first awakening in Open Heart method, you can find those instructions for free from the website. Two-part formula, you can easily find it from our website. So my view comes mainly from being a teacher for nearly 18 years. This is my 18th year of teaching. And secondly, also from conversations with Tibetan Vajrayana teachers. So I've spoken about this with one teacher who, his name is Erik Pemakunzang. He's Danish Vajrayana teacher, and he said that that his teacher Tulgu Urgen Rinpoche, he had almost identical practice for generating this Semgotropa, this first awakening. Also, I have learned years ago, I just remembered that the now American teacher called Daniel Brown, Dr. Daniel Brown, Dan Brown, that in his tradition, I think he was mainly Bön Buddhist. They also had practice for this. Like a simple variation what we do in two-part formula. But there you have it. There you have it. It is not universally true that these techniques wouldn't exist, that there are indeed practices and whole methods that have different collection of different practices that are specifically designed for specific purposes, and in this case, for emptiness insight, for seeing directly that the sense of self, the sense of entityness, is nothing but a bundle of impressions and thoughts and beliefs, but at the center of that belief, that knot in our experience, in our mind, in our subtle body, there is nothing there at the center of it. That there is no self, there is no entity there in the middle who says and claims that I am here, I am the self. Such entity doesn't exist. And, these practices, like in our method, we have detailed exact process how this, it's called avidya klesha, the affliction of ignorance, affliction of the problem of dualistic delusion, how it can be bit by bit, chunk by chunk, deconstructed. So that what remains? Selfless clarity. Selfless clarity, which is a very important facet of the so-called natural state. Selfless clarity. So when you go through this process, you establish this selfless clarity, which is effortless, aware, awake, and it is effortlessly there at all times, 24/7. So this is perfectly doable, achievable, how do you say, attainment, if you have the right instructions, right theory, and the right practices. Otherwise, if you have theory, view that isn't really correct, if you have practice that doesn't directly address the root cause of delusion and therefore is unable to pluck the root cause of delusion out, like plucking out a weed, then, if the practices are irrelevant in that sense, you can spend years, decades, lifetimes without realizing this emptiness of all phenomena, this selfless clarity in thoughts, emotions, and subtle energy. And we know that, I spent 4 years, every day, all day, I spent 4 years in training, doing the practices, but nothing came out of it because the practices are not, they don't understand the root cause of that delusion. And because of that, they also don't understand the root cause of freedom. Isn't that interesting? But it is really simple, like the how to say, the mechanism of delusion and freedom is really simple. But this knowledge has been lost in most methods out there, that the direct cause and effect of delusion and freedom, samsara and nirvana, are not understood. And then the practices kind of stand separate from these two. And if they stand separate, they will, do you understand? It's like using wrong tools to try to achieve a specific result. to do a specific task. So this is a major problem. And I've spoken about this. I've in my first book, Awake Handbook of Awakening, which I mentioned, which you can get from the website. I've spoken about the 5 reasons that prevent from practices being effective and which lead to views like this. Here mentioned by Chan Master Sheng Yen, same like what Adyashanti said in his interview. Also, my greetings again to our friend Adya. And I've heard this exact same thing. I'm sorry, if there is such a way, I would have used it first. But up until now, I haven't invented it. Up until now, no Chan Buddhist literature has shown who had used it. I say, what a pity, no one has yet made the discovery of such techniques. So it leads to this. It is so important what teachers say. It is so important. Well, this is an obvious point, but we would assume that when there is somebody like a notable patriarch in this case, or similar figures. I've heard this exact same thing said by many other Dharma teachers, including other Chan Zen Buddhists. You would assume that you can trust 100% what they say. But here it is again. If they haven't done very extensive training across different traditions, different systems, then there is no basis of making the conclusion that there aren't such practices on universal scale. So here I have presented my constructive analysis and criticism. I sincerely hope that the awakening methods of awakening practices of our method and all methods out there, that they reach and spread and spread and spread to people who are so sincerely and honestly looking a way out of samsara, who are sincerely looking for practices that will help them to put an end to their self-based confusion and suffering. So with love, see you in the next video, and just wanted to remind you that let's see if I can open the calendar. So today is Monday 18th of May, and next Sunday, on Sunday 24th, there will be the next event that I will teach. It will be a short 2.5-hour session. It will be held at 6 p.m. local time, Slovenia. So it's like morning time in US, for example. So there will be the next satsang practice session on next Sunday, 24th, 6 p.m. Central European time, and newcomers can join for free first time. So everybody welcome, new and old friends. Okay, much love. Baba over and out.